This video will walk you through constructing a cost volume profit income statement. The problem you have to work through looks something like this. I've summarized all the data here. We're given all of these figures here and asked to first create a cost volume profit income statement. So to prepare the income statement, I've got it sketched out up in this area here. This is what my format will look like. I've got a nice heading on my statement. I start with sales, I come up with variable costs and contribution margin, fixed costs, and then net income. So the sales are actually the easiest part to fill out. We're given in the problem that our sales are $16,083, so I'll just fill that amount in here. Now the harder part is where we have to distinguish between all of these costs that we're given. We need to figure out which ones are fixed and which ones are variable, and maybe they have components of both. So let's start with the food and the packaging. What the problem indicates is that variable costs, we were given this note right down here. It says variable costs are the food and the packaging. So that means all of this $5,350 is variable costs. And so my total, this little matrix here is meant to help us figure out of this amount how much is variable, how much is fixed, so we've accounted for the full $5,350 over here. Let's next move to payroll. The data we're given also says that my variable costs, payroll, are all variable. Okay, so the $41.85 comes over here, and that tells us all $41.85 is variable. Now the occupancy costs, which are rent, depreciation, etc., there's nothing indicated down here as to what those are. So that means we have to make the assumption rent, depreciation is typically fixed, and so all of those costs are going to be considered fixed costs. The last item we need to identify as variable or fixed are the general, selling, and administrative expenses. Items in here would include IT costs, HR costs, accounting costs, all the overhead items that typically aren't required to directly run the hamburger restaurant. So the problem tells us that 40% of all of these costs, general, selling, and administrative costs, are variable. So of this $23.40, we take 40% of it and call that variable, so 60% is fixed. So between the two, we've accounted for the $2,340. We split it up this way. So now, if I would have laid this out a little bit better, at the bottom we take all of our variable costs, which are three items, $10,471. Our fixed costs are anything in this column, $54.10, and we simply plug them into this income statement. My variable costs were just calculated over here at $10,471. I can format that a little bit better. And so contribution margin is defined as my sales minus whatever my variable costs are. So I have a contribution margin of $5,612. My fixed costs come next, which is the total of this column. And to come up with net income, we take the difference between my contribution margin and my fixed costs. Tells me I have a net income of $202. This is what a cost volume profit income statement should look like.